So in this video, I'm going to show you how to turn a brick into a custom planter. You want to find a brick where at least one side is pretty smooth. One side could be a little rough, that will be the underside. And if you have pieces hanging out, you can break what you can off. I broke some off and before I filmed this video. And then for the underside, what you want is some foam padding. So you want the kind, you see this? This is regular foam, and the other side it has an adhesive backing that you can peel off. And this is what you want essentially. So you want to make sure you get that kind of foam padding. And they cost you about $1 a piece, they're not expensive. So anyway, you're going to take the brick and you're going to measure. Over here it's about 7.5 inches by about 3.5. So what I did was I took the foam padding and I ran a nice straight edge. So then, I measured 3.5. I was able to do this without actually, using any pen or anything. And then a simple box cutter, you hold it down, you slice, and then you measure the length and you have your piece. Fortunately, I already went ahead and cut a piece. So then I'm going to peel if I can peel this. Okay, here we go. So then you peel it and you set it. Now what's nice about foam padding is they come in multiple colors. I like to use the white, but I also have some in brown. And then here's a piece, they come in all sorts of colors, and this one is not the self-adhesive kind, so you have to make sure you get the self-adhesive kind. Okay, so I stuck this in there, and you want to make sure, naturally the weight of the brick will pack it down, but you want to make sure it's packed down so no water can seep through. So then when you water your plant, you're basically going to have essentially like a clay pot with a brick and no drainage hole. I'm sure you've seen some of my other videos, and I have one where I explain that you don't really need a drainage hole. Okay, so those of you who know me, I don't like to just waste potting soil. So I have an old pot with a plant, and oh wow, it's really dry. Oh, and I'm making a mess already. But I'm going to go ahead and just fill this in halfway with soil. Okay, so it's just over halfway. Now here is a plant that I have neglected, and I can actually cut it and it should root. And then usually with succulents you let it dry off before you stick it in soil, but for the sake of this video I'm just going to go ahead and plant it. What you do is you let it dry, you let the tip dry so that it can start to root and not to rot under there as you try to transplant it. But it's a little cold outside, and I don't feel like going outside to grab a couple other plants, so I'm showing you this. I'll give you guys a secret. I like to go to Lowe's. You go to their tropical plants section, and a lot of plants that are dying, they put them on clearance. So I try to look for the clearance rack, and some Lowe's don't have too many clearance areas, others do. I think it depends on the store manager. So it's a good place to buy plants for $1 to $3, sometimes $5 depending on the size. And you buy a plant that you can actually save. Like people get rescue dogs or rescue cats. You can get rescue plants that way. Now I have this plant here, which this wooden pot is not very practical. I'm going to see if oh great. I'm going to actually put a sheet of paper, which I forgot to earlier. It hardly has any root to it. It's a good thing I rescued it from that pot. Now, depending on the types of bricks you have, you could always put some in a row and put the foam padding in between to act like the mortar. and set them in a row with plants here, plants on higher ones all along. But now is the moment of truth. I'm gonna go get some water and we will see if this thing will actually hold the water I pour in there. Okay, so that I don't ruin the cardboard so I can still use it for other things, I put a piece of craft foam, so if it does leak it will go on here. Let's go ahead and pour a little water, and you have to do it just gently so it doesn't pour out the side. And you know, something like this would be a great succulent planter, but also you could put a couple pieces of herbs if need be and have it in the kitchen. So, whoa, almost made a mess there, didn't I? But anyway, I have this paper towel and then that so I can soak it up. And the reality is the soil is so dry, it's soaking up like crazy. But I don't see any leak on this side or around. So far, so good. So anyway, this is a simple way where you can make a custom planter using an old brick. My apologies on the selection of plants I use, but I hope you enjoyed this video and thanks for watching.